Om Sri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha. Valmiki Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, Chapter 66. Mourning the death of King Dasharatha. Summary. Kausalya reproaches Kaikeyi for her wrong deeds, while weeping profusely for her husband's death. The maid servants reverently remove Kausalya from the place of the king's body, which they later kept in a trough filled with oil. The ministers and other functionaries returned to their abodes when the night fell in darkness. Chapter 66 in detail. Seeing the aforesaid deceased king, who looked like a fully extinguished fire, a waterless ocean, and a lustreless sun, Kausalya holding the king's head on her lap with her eyes full of tears, and who was stricken with grief of various sorts, spoke to Kausalya as follows. O Kaikeyi, the cruel one, and the doer of evils, you be there, having fulfilled your desires. Deserting the king, you can enjoy the kingdom undisturbed and without any hindrance. Rama has left me and gone to the forest. My husband, too, has left for heaven. I do not wish to live as one left behind by a caravan in a wrong road. Which woman would wish to survive, leaving her husband who was a divine, except Kaikeyi, who kicked off righteousness? A greedy person cannot understand one's faults, like one who eats a forbidden dish. Due to that humpbacked woman, Kaikeyi has ruined the race of Raghu's dynasty. Hearing Rama, along with his wife, have been sent to exile by the king, as he was coerced and he was Kaikeyi to do an unworthy act, Janaka will profusely lament as I do. Rama, the pious man, who is possessed of like lotus leaves and who has disappeared from here even though living, nor does not know me to have because a supportless widow. Even so, Sita, the daughter of King Videha, the pitiable lady, and who is worthy of lamentation, will get frightened with grief in the forest. Greatly alarmed to hear the fearful cries of wild animals and birds making their noises in night, surely she will cling herself to Rama. Janaka too, who is aged and who is not having sons, will be thinking of Sita, overwhelmed with grief, and will surely abandon his life. Today itself, I too, in devotion to my husband, will meet my appointed end. I shall enter the fire, duly embracing this body of my husband. The maid servants reverently removed from that place that unfortunate Kausalya, who was in excess of her grief and was closely embracing her dead husband. The ministers assigned for the job kept the king in an oil trough and did all the acts that were to be done thereafter. The ministers, who were knowing all such matters, were not willing to do cremation for the king in the absence of his sons, and that is why preserved the king's body in an oil trough. Seeing the king was laid down in an oil trough by the ministers, those women in the gymnasium cried, Alas, he is dead. Crying their faces with eyes flowing with tears, the miserable women threw up their arms, stricken with grief as they were, and pitiably lamented as follows. Alas, great king, when we are already deprived of Rama, who speaks lovingly and who always keeps up his promise, why have you left us? Far in distance from Rama, how shall we live without our husband, live in proximity to Kaikeyi of wretched nature, who killed her husband? Rama, a protector to you and all of us, as well as a capable, prudent, and an eminent man, has indeed gone on exile to the forest, leaving this lovely kingdom. How can we, being disgraced by Kaikeyi and stupefied by evil passion, live without you and the heroic Rama? Whom else will Kaikeyi, by whom have been abandoned the king, as well as Rama, along with Lakshmana, great strength, and Sita, not abandoned? With tears and excessive agony, those excellent Dasharatha's wife, together in a row, rolled on the ground, sorrowful as they were. The city of Ayodhya, bereft of the high-souled King Dasharatha, was splendorless, as a night without a moon, and as a woman without a husband, with people disturbed with tears, with virtuous women raising cries of distress, and with its crossroads and entrances of houses looking desolate, the city of Ayodhya did not shine as before. While the king has gone to heaven due to grief, and while the king's wives were lying on the ground, the sun suddenly went away, retreating its movement. The night approached, with its darkness having proceeded to spread throughout. The friends and relatives who came there did not like the king's cremation in the absence of his sons. Thus thinking, they kept the king of inconceivable sight in that resting place in the oil. Deserted by the high-souled Dasharatha, with its roads and crossroads filled with people choked with tears in their throats, the city of Ayodhya looking like sky without sun, and night with its multitude of stars disappeared, did not shine with its light having gone away. After the king's death, men and women in the city converged in groups, abusing Bharata's mother, became disturbed and did not obtain happiness. Thus completes 66th chapter of Ayodhya Kanda of the glorious Ramayana of Valmiki, the work of a sage and the oldest epic. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.